me, and you know what I mean. Thank you very, very much for coming. I see loads of you in the comments already. If you're watching this on the catch up, thank you very much for catching up on it. And what I thought we would do today is, as we are now in 2025, we would talk a little bit about 2024. I've sat down, I've made my list, and I have every cruise that I took. I took a lot of I think there was a lot of variety in my cruises in 2024. As you will see, I have river cruises, ocean cruises. I took a cruise on a ferry. I stayed on a hospital ship. Yeah, no one can accuse me of doing the same thing over and over again, because I certainly haven't this year. Interesting to look at for sure. I have made a post version of this that has, how long each cruise was, what cabin I stayed in, how much I paid for it. That's just emmacruises.com/2024 cruises. If you want to open that up and follow along and let me know if I mess any of them up, that would be fantastic. Yes, hello. If you do have a question and you can start it with question in capital letters, that would be really cool. That just helps me to pick out what is a question and what is nice messages. Like Pixel in here is going on their first cruise today, which is very, very exciting. Congratulations to Pixel. That's cool. Your first cruise of many, I'm sure. I have met people before who've taken one cruise and then never taken one again. But yeah, there's always been a reason. It's always been someone who says, oh, I got terribly seasick. I don't like sea days. And I booked my first cruise was 25 sea days, that kind of thing. So the fact that you're here means you've done research. So you'll have a fantastic time for sure, for sure. Lou says, did you sell out of Captain Hudson version 5 yet? So it is closed. It's officially closed because of some time zones. Some of you can still see it and it still exists, but it is it should be closed. But if it's open, you can still buy one. Just this is the very, 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 very last minute. So that is emmacruisesshop.com. Yes. What are your tips for a first cruise? I'm going on one in a few weeks. It's really tricky because there's hundreds. I have a post on my website called 67 Cruise Tips for a First-Time Cruiser. If you check that out, then there are 67. I could give you just a random one now, but it's so hard to know, where you're going or what you're doing. Okay, so the first cruise that I took, starting of my 2024 journey, I did not take a cruise in January, so starting in February, and I took a cruise. Let me know if you remember this, because it feels like a very long time ago, and it was a Havila cruise. It was a cruise on a Norwegian ferry. Lots of locals on there who were on there for a day, for a couple of hours. We visited 21 ports in 4 days. So let me know. This comment says, dude, it's been so long. How many cruises do you have planned for the year? At the moment, I have 2. But I think I'll probably do more than 2. Last year, looking at my list, I did 11 trips and I took my family on, I think, well, sometimes I would take my dad, sometimes I'd take my mum, but as a group trip, we did a couple as a family. I took 3 press trips. I took 1 river cruise, 1 hospital cruise. Yeah, interesting for sure. So that first cruise was the chilliest cruise probably that I've ever done. And sometimes we would have 2 hours in port. Sometimes we would have 5 hours in port. Sometimes we would go to a port at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, because it was a ferry. It is a cruise, but it is also a ferry. You can do 12 nights on there. I only did 4, but even still, 21 ports. 21 ports. It was crazy. What was your favorite port? So we flew to Tromsø, or Tromsø is how you're supposed to say it. And we had some time there before we got on board. I think that's one of my favorite places in Norway. And we embarked the ship. My embarkation time on my piece of paper was 1:30 a.m. So I messed up the hotels because I knew what day we embarked, but I didn't think that's like the night before, right? So yeah. What is a hospital cruise? It is a floating hospital. The word cruise isn't particularly right, but I spent some time in December in Sierra Leone on board a floating hospital, and we will get there. We will get there for sure. But yeah, it was brilliant. It was fantastic. It was more than I expected from a ferry. Yeah, interesting. Really, really interesting for sure. The next cruise on my list after that, because I got very, very cold, that was snow spikes on your shoes. That was snow up to your, knees in some places. After that cruise, I was like, I'm going somewhere warm. where is warm in March. And so I booked a very last minute, it was maybe 2 weeks before, but a cheap cruise on board Celebrity Infinity. And actually turned out probably to be one of my favorite cruises of the year. I really like that ship. And we were down in Greece. So Greece at that time of year, you know, it's not hot, but it's a lot hotter than it is in England. And it was definitely hotter than it was in Norway. So that was really nice. A bit of a longer cruise, that one for me. And it was not expensive. It was £1,228 I paid for 12 nights. So that's including flights as well. Normally I'm happy around £100 per night budget. And that included flights, transfers. I paid for Wi-Fi and I paid for just random drinks. Yeah. Infinity, I forgot that one. Thought Marella was next. Yeah, so I did 2 trips in March. So you're not wrong. I did the Infinity one first, and then I took a Marella cruise, a very, very short Marella cruise. It was the school holidays. I was going with a friend who works in a school, and we didn't want kids everywhere. So we picked an adult-only ship with Marella, and it was brilliant. We had a quirky cabin. Don't know if anyone remembers this. It was right at the back of the ship, right above the smoking area and the bar. But even still, we had a really good time. Is your t-shirt a Mercy Ship shirt? It is, yes. I bought it on board. I bought this, and then I realized this is the exact same t-shirt and the same size and the same colors and everything that I have my t-shirts in. So I was like, this feels very comfortable and snug. That's how I like it. And yeah, it's the same brand of t-shirt. So yeah, it has the Africa on it and Hope and Healing for Mercy Ships. Yeah. Yeah, the same Celebrity Infinity cruise is $650 this March. Yeah, so $650 was around what the actual sort of cruise was. But by the time you've added on gratuities with Celebrity, then added on flights, it ended up being like £110 per person per night. We had a balcony as well, so not bad at all. Yeah, it's quite funny to look back at these things. I definitely have a lot of variety. I did not do the same cruise line twice. Big ships, small ships, every kind of thing. Yes, MSC World America launches in April. Yes, she does. Yes, she does, for sure. Okay, so after coming out of that was actually quite warm, that Marella cruise. Oh, I do have some maps here, actually. Maybe I can show you some of them. If you have any questions about these cruises that I took, I have the Celebrity Infinity one there, if you can see that, to get a reflection of my light and of my face. And this was the tiny little Marella one we did. So we have the Marella branding on that one because we have a deal with Marella. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Does MSC offer upgrade bids? Yeah, they do. They'll email you, and then they'll email you again and again. But yes, I don't think I've ever booked an MSC cruise where I've not had that email asking if you want to upgrade. Don't think so. Jamie says, this is making me want to book a cruise. Do you know any good travel agents? I know plenty of good travel agents. I have the one I use, the one I recommend. I have a US team who I recommend as well. If you just go to my website, they're the ones I have. Can you purchase those pictures from the ship? So these ones, on some cruise lines, yes. Like this one on Marella, like on Cunard or my recent cruise, you can get them on board. And we have little stands up, which is cool. But if not, you can buy them on the website. It's the cruise maps, cruisemaps.com. Where would you even find a travel agent? I found mine, I think, on Facebook a long time ago. But I will say, you know, a good travel agent is worth their weight in gold. And a bad one, I've had some bad ones. It's worse than none. So you really want a good one. Do you have a link to purchase Mercy Ships t-shirts on your website? Can anyone buy them? No, I don't think you can buy them outside of the ship, as far as I know. I don't know if Mercy Ships have a shop, but it wasn't this. Great question. Would you sail on such diverse cruises if it wasn't for your profession? No, I don't think so. You know, I try and do a wide range of cruises. I think I would fall into patterns of doing more similar ones that I like. You know, it's all right for me to try something because if I don't like it, it's fine. It's not like when I used to go to work and save up for a year or year and a half to go away for a week. That matters more, right? To me, it's not the end of the world if it's not something I like. So I take more risks now for sure. Certain cruises that I've taken, I probably wouldn't have taken if it wasn't for this channel. You know, my most recent cruise, transatlantic, lots of sea days. I get seasick. Cunard is not a cruise line that suits me particularly, but you know, There's worse places to be. I had a great time, for sure, for sure. Yeah, there's loads of travel agents. Oh, there's thousands and thousands and thousands. There's thousands just in the company that I use in the UK. There's so many travel agents, for sure, for sure. Okay, so after that, we went to Alaska. Alaska. I'm sure you remember Alaska. And this was my trip I did on board Norwegian Encore. So you'll see in this post, I've put like a little green disclaimer when they're the press trips, just so that you know that I didn't pay for those. But I've also put in the retail price because I think it's interesting, right? So I did a 7-night cruise round trip from Seattle. My only sort of, not regret, but if you're going all the way to Alaska, 7 days, like I could have stayed there for so much longer than 7 days, but it was great. I have my Alaska one in here. You can see it from Seattle up and then back down, wiggly wiggly. So that was 2,209 nautical miles Norwegian Encore, 7 days. Yeah, it was amazing, Alaska. And I'm so glad because we went really early in the season. I went in April, end of April, 28th of April to the 5th of May. And sometimes we would be in a port with just one ship. And in summer, it can get very, very busy in Alaska. Sometimes there's 5 cruise ships in a port. So I think that was a really good time to go. We had the most glorious blue skies. We were so lucky with the weather. I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee it. But we were so lucky. So lucky, yeah. Do you look for good deals, or do you know what ship and itinerary you want to do before you start looking and planning? For me, it's half and half now. You know, I have certain things that I know that I want to do, or a new ship's coming out and I want to go on that one, or I have certain things that I know, and then in between I'll have a look at, you know, what cheap cruise is going in 2 weeks. I did that this week and I book it because I like to have a mix of more expensive cruises, cheaper cruises, inside cabins like my last cruise. I have an ocean view on my next cruise, so that'll be nice. Sometimes, you know, I had a penthouse suite recently with a bath. Like I'm trying to do all the variety here. Yeah. When will be a good time to do a British Isles cruise to avoid the kid crowd? I mean, the school holidays in the UK are sort of the second. I would avoid the second half of July and August, and they tend to go back very, very early in September. So I would probably look to do September because the weather can be quite nice. The kids are back at school, or maybe earlier. Yeah. Do you have an update on the online cruise globe? So we've had a really, really, really exciting and really busy week. We've had a tiny little focus group, who some of you are in here, who have been playing around with Globe for us. If you're on the wait list, and please be on the wait list, because otherwise I'm going to get sad emails saying that you're not, you can't see everyone else with it and you don't have it. By the end of the month, you'll have an email. So super, super soon for the cruise globe. Really, really exciting. I cannot wait. We've had a very, 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 very small focus group playing with it, but to see other people use and like something that we've spent so long on was, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. So good. It is so exciting. It is really, really exciting. It is going to be fabulous. And it's going to make it so easy for me to sort of share my cruises with you and show you them. And you'll be able to do that with everybody else. And it'll be awesome. It'll be so good. So good. Yes, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Yeah. So after that, talking about going from one extreme to the other, I went from Alaska to Cunard Aurora, which is P&O's oldest cruise ship. P&O's a British cruise line. And I did a 3-night cruise inside cabin with my mum. So yeah, great question. What is the cruise globe? I'm asking for a friend. Good question. So I think I can quickly show you. Do I have any videos saved? Yes. So this is the very first version. It has updated since then. But here is an example, if that'll come up. This is my cruise globe. So it has all of my cruises on it. This is where the cruise actually went. As you can see, I'm sort of an expert on English Channel. And you can see that's one of my cruises to nowhere that we did, the first one after the pandemic. And we literally went round in circles. So this is what the cruise globe is. This is the very, very early version. We have updated it a lot, but it's going to be a place where you can, for free, add all of your cruises. We have all of the data. We sell these cruise maps. So it's going to be on the website. You can buy the maps, of course, but it's something slightly different. And yeah, it uses the satellite data to show you where you've been. Yeah, so if you get any quirky ones, you know, you miss a port, you do a loop-the-loop, even if you don't think it's a quirky one, it probably is a quirky one. because they always go quirky. Like, for example, this one, talking about Aurora, great timing. We went from Southampton to Bruges, so you would think we would just go right. Like, there's no reason to go that way, but we did. We killed some time and we just went around in a circle. So, yeah, cool to see for sure. Are there any ships with cheap balcony cabins? It really depends on the age of the ship, I find, because older ships just don't have the balconies. They just didn't make them with as many balconies. On some cruise ships, they have stuck them onto the side. Very interesting. You can't tell unless you look at the history of it. But on some cruise ships, they have just stuck a chunk onto the side, which is quite cool. But if you're on a cruise ship that was built in like the early 90s, ocean views are what most of the cabins are. So if you do want a balcony, of course, they're going to charge more for it. A more modern cruise ship, they'll do more and more balconies. So yeah, you're going to probably want a newer one if you want that. How far back does the data on the cruise globe go? So it starts at 2015 is the good data. We are coming up with something for cruises before 2015. You can still add them, of course, because we've got a lot of stuff in there, like, you know, for me, it says my top cruise line, Norwegian Cruise Line. Second is MSC and third is P&O. Interesting. But we don't want you to miss them, of course. But we are going to do something which the data doesn't exist to know where it went. Like, you can't do it. But we're going to, if you tell us the ports and we can work out where the cruise went, we'll be able to, you know, come up with something. It's not going to be, it doesn't exist, but we're not going to leave any gaps in there for sure. Yeah, Lou says Viking are 100% balconies for sure. Just different cabins. There you go then. That is the cheapest one. Don't they navigate around weather most times? That's why there's wonky patterns. Yeah, they do a lot. If there's something they can avoid and they have the time, they will. Sometimes they're just killing time. You know, I have cruise globes where we've gone from here to here and it's just gone just because they're killing time sometimes. Or sometimes you can see, you know, I have one cruise we got right, I don't know if I have the video of it. No, I don't, but we got right into the port. You could see it, and then bad weather and we turned away. But it's quite cool to see that. It looks like we went to it until you zoom in, and then you can see that. So yeah, you can really zoom in. You can go 3D, so you can see, oh, this is where we docked. That's where Mount Fuji is. That kind of stuff. But yeah, please be on the wait list if you're not already. It's just thecruiseglobe.com, and then you'll have access by the end of the month. You can add in all your cruises, and yeah, it was good fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing who has the most miles, who has the most everything. It's going to be fabulous. But yeah, if you're not on the wait list, then everyone else is going to get it before you, and that's going to be really sad. 3D, yeah, you can make it 3D for sure. Yeah, so the 3-day cruise I took on Aurora, we went across to Bruges. That's a very common place to go to from Southampton because, you know, it's somewhere close. It's nice. Bruges is cool. I've been to Bruges plenty of times, and when we woke up on that day, it was just pouring with rain. The rain was just going along the ground, and in Bruges you're normally like going on a boat. It's quite outside, and we thought no, so we stayed on board. Yeah, Ambassador Cruise to Nowhere is definitely there. Yeah, it's on mine. It's just a dot because we didn't go anywhere. Yeah, we didn't go anywhere at all. But that was a good cruise. We had a inside cabin. It was a bigger than normal inside cabin, and I really liked it. You know, it was good for 4 days. I'm not sure that I would want to be in there for, some people were in there for world cruises. Plenty of storage. But yeah, so on this post I have here, emmacruises.com/2024 cruises, I've put the links to all the videos that I have. So I know sometimes it's quite hard to work out. I don't title them normally with the ship name. So it's quite hard to work out what is what. Yeah, Cruise Boys say Cruise Globe is fabulous. It showed us some fun cruising routes on a few of our cruises. Yeah, you would never know. You know, I didn't know that we went that other way because I'm just having a good time. I'm just chilling. Okay, so my next one on the list was a fabulous cruise. A cruise I've taken multiple times, which I think shows a lot because it's very, very rare for me to do multiple cruises. But I did this cruise a few years ago, loved it. And then when I wanted to do a cruise with my family, we wanted to take my nieces on a cruise. I was like, this is perfect. So we took this cruise. This is Anthem of the Seas, and it is up to Norway there. I have very bright lights here, like, see that? But Anthem of the Seas up to Norway. Anthem of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, great one for kids for sure. And we did things like roller skating. I did laser tag. We did all kinds of things. like bumper cars, and they let you bump, which was good because sometimes bumper cars, they don't let you bump, which is the whole point, right? The whole point. Yeah, if you do have a question, can you please start it with question in capital letters just so that I can pick it out. I don't want to have to stop you guys and read. Yeah, Anthem is one of their best ships. I really like it too. I have done some of the bigger Royal Caribbean ships. I took a cruise on Symphony of the Seas, and I have done the smaller ships too. Yes, that is Vimto. How do you recognize that? It could be any other type of squash, but it is Vimto. Yes, it is Vimto. Correct. I know I'm going to get a question that says, what is squash? So squash is very diluted fruit juice, basically. The color. Yeah, it is a good color, isn't it? This could be cherries and berries, maybe. Cherries and berries. I don't even know what one that is. Yes. Yeah, I like mid-sized ships too. Anthem of the Seas is still a pretty big ship, but compared to some of the really big Royal Caribbean ships, she is smaller. I took a great cruise on Symphony of the Seas the year before, which was so much fun, but there was so much to do, and I only got off the cruise once. And, you know, I do like to explore the ports as well as the cruises, for sure. Amy says, should I buy magnetic hooks for my very first cruise next month? I have taken 74 cruises, and at no point have I ever needed or ever thought, wish I had a hook. Like, I don't know what people are hanging up on these hooks. I think if you are going with kids, maybe, and you have more stuff, then yes. But I have never, I don't know what people are doing with them. Yeah, Lou says yes, but Lou, let me know what you're doing with them, because I don't know. I don't have any, and I never have. Yeah. It's Morrison's cherries and berries. Nice. Yeah, my dad says I bought some and have not used them yet. Jamie says finds them useful. Please let me know what you use them for, because yeah, I use them to hang my purse. That's a good idea. I would just I just put my bag on the floor or the chair. I don't hang anything up really. Maybe it's just how I am though. I don't hang anything up at home. I don't have a wardrobe with hanging space at home. Nothing is hung up, so maybe I'm just not used to that. For drying stuff, yeah, I like that. But if I was drying stuff, I would just put it on a coat hanger, I guess, and then hang it on like the side of the door or something. I don't know. Hang my charging cables. That's pretty cool. Hats. I don't have hats really. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the thing. What is your favorite way to have eggs? Says Nick. Probably just a fried egg, I think. Fried eggs. I like that question. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Cruise boys say we got them and we use them to hang up Christmas stockings. That's quite cool. Yeah, Jamie says always overpack, so there's never enough storage space. Yeah, I don't overpack. I think I pack light. Yeah, maybe I just don't. We use it to pin up our flag. I don't normally bring Christmas stockings or a flag, so yeah. Yeah, exactly. People say I bought them, didn't use them, had so much storage. I guess it depends on the cabin, right? Some cabins have so much more storage than others. Some I don't even touch half the drawers, and then other ones, you know, over easy or hard fried. I couldn't care less. I don't mind. I'm not that fuzzy. What ship model is that I see in the background? See, that's not well, it is mine now, but it's a princess ship. One of the older ones. I don't know if any of you guys remember. We used to have a lovely guy called Owen who would come in on these live streams. He's one of my Patreons, great member of our community. He passed away, and his parents sent me that, which was so sweet. So yeah, that one's for Owen. That one. Yeah, maybe Lou says hooks are inexpensive. Might as well take a few. Maybe I should take a few and then see if because I have them, maybe I use them. I probably would just put Captain Hudson on it. I gotta be honest. Yeah. Oh, what on earth is Vimto Clear Protein? What is that? That sounds really weird. Oh my gosh. Any cruising tips you used to think were great but you now don't use? I don't think so. I don't really buy into a lot of the like 15 hacks. Like I don't normally do those things. Thing is when you're going on a cruise, if the weather is the same as it is at home, you're probably going to want to wear what you wear at home. Like I'm going to want to wear my favorite jeans. I'm going to want to wear the t-shirts I wear at home. I just pack extra stuff for dinner, you know, dresses. But apart from that, yeah. Do you have a go-to seasickness tablet? At the moment, it is Quells. That's my one of choice. I don't know if that's the best one, but that's the one I have been using for, I don't know, at least since I started this channel. And I started this channel in 2017. Yeah, I don't want any protein in my Vimto, thank you. Sounds really weird. Captain Hudson sits on a small table. Yeah, Captain Hudson goes anywhere. On my last cruise, I had a interior view, like it was an inside cabin with a window. I don't know how to describe it, but he would sit there and he would watch everyone in the atrium, which was kind of cute. Emma, you can borrow some hooks from us to save the money to test it out. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know what I would put on there. But maybe it's because I don't wear hats. And if I have a coat, I'll just put it in the wardrobe. And because I don't hang anything at home, maybe that's why I have hanging space, like more than enough. Thing is if clothes crinkle or wrinkle, I just won't bring them on a cruise. Like my main criteria is, do I have to iron this? Yes. Well, it's not coming then. Like I'm not doing it. Yeah. Okay, so my next one, after doing the Norway cruise, which was fantastic, it was so nice, so fun to cruise for me with my nieces, really, really cool. Norway's brilliant, Norway's one of my favorite places to go. But after that, I went to the hottest place in the world, Venice, in July. Oh my goodness me. And I did a very luxurious river cruise. This was, the price that I paid was £2,000 per person, which might sound like quite a lot. I don't know what you're thinking, but for a Uniworld river cruise, that's very, very cheap. That's half or less the price of what it normally is. And so even though it was July and I knew it would be really hot, I was like, yeah, this is my way in. This is my chance to try it. I'm not going to miss it. And me and my dad went to Venice to do that cruise. And that's the one where I had the cabin that had the pattern on the ceiling and the walls and the floor and the everything, if you remember that one. And that was an interesting cruise. I enjoyed it. I think budget river cruise lines suit me better because the things that are included on a more luxurious one aren't things that I would pay for anyway. Because, you know, they have excursions included. Like, I don't always want to do excursions. If I do, I might buy the odd one, but I'll probably do stuff myself anyway. There's normally more drinks included on a more luxurious river cruise, but on a river cruise, if you want to just go to Lidl and buy a drink and bring it back on the ship, you can do that. Like, no one is checking your bag. There's no security. There's no rules. So, yeah, that river cruise room was amazing. It was something. It was something for sure. Yes. Yeah. It was, yeah. Other people agreeing. Venice in July, done that. Oh my God. Yeah. And please don't just hear me talk about the heat in Venice in July and say, oh, well, you're British, so you don't understand. Because there were people there who were from California, from all over the world, Australians, and they said this is unbearable because there's no air conditioning in Venice. You know, you're going around a palace. We had a lot of early access tours, which was good. So we would be doing the tour at, 7:30 in the morning. And even then, like the hot tapestries and stuff on the walls. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Yeah. Yeah. I can't tell you which cruise line has the best toilet paper. I don't think I've ever taken note of it. And they're probably all exactly the same because the toilets are quite fragile on cruise ships. So you don't really get good toilet paper. Like it's kind of thin toilet paper. But they all have the same toilets. Like every cruise ship. Even when I went on the hospital ship in Sierra Leone, I was like, I recognize that toilet. That's exactly the same. And it hasn't changed. And they haven't changed since my first cruise when I was 11. Must be thousands of them. Thousands of them. Keith says, what is the deal with visas? Do you need one for every port or country you visit? Will whoever you book with advise which visas you need? Yeah, so it depends where you're going. So I have a travel agent that I use in the UK. Assuming you're from the UK, so you're welcome to use mine too. The link is on my website. And she always tells me what I need and just sort of sends the reminders. Depends where you're going. You know, I don't need visas if I'm going to Greece or going to Spain or anything like that. But if I'm going to the US, I have to get my ESTA. If you're going somewhere like Japan, we don't have to do a visa before we go because we're from the UK. But every different country has different rules based on where everyone is from. So it is quite a lot. But yeah, a good travel agent, this is exactly what worth their weight in gold because you can ask them. Jamie says, you mean they didn't have 4-ply on Cunard? No, they have the same toilet paper, the most luxurious cruise in the world, and it will still be the same toilet paper. as far as I know. And I've cruised on a yacht, and it was the same toilet paper. Emma's in here. Yeah, we were just talking about you, Emma. Wondered when you were going to mention Venice. There we go. Yes, this is Emma, my UK travel agent, who I've used for years and years and years and years and years. And it made it so easy for me because I put together this list, and there's an app that we use to book our cruises in Travel Counselors, so I could just go through the list, and everything is there with how much I paid for everything. Very helpful. Very, very helpful. But yeah, it was a fantastic cruise. I just felt as though I missed out on a lot of things because you can't just go for a walk. We did, but you shouldn't. It's too hot. Yeah, too hot, too hot. Going on Ventura in 6 months, what are your thoughts on the age of the ship? So I cruised on Ventura for Christmas a few years ago. We went down to the Canary Islands. I wouldn't choose that itinerary again because it was rough. We had an extra day at sea, but you know, it is what it is. But we had no problems with the ship at all. I don't remember. The only thing I remember about my cabin, I like the layout where there's the separate sort of wardrobe, but it had a light on the ceiling that was motion activated. So someone had stuck a plaster over it so that it wouldn't keep going on. But yeah, it was good. It's kind of I guess, one of my older videos. But if you want to check it out, I doubt it has changed. You know, the ship is quite old anyway. So what is another couple, 2 years? 2 years. Yeah, they are doing the same way we need Esters to go to the US. There's one now, well, coming into force, I believe, for the other way now. And yeah, I'm sure at some point we'll need the ones for going to Europe. But at the moment, all good, all good. So after that, after my very hot cruise, I didn't go anywhere in August. And in September, I got to go through the Yacht Club doors. I don't know if you remember how excited I was about this, but I have cruised with MSC 7 times. And I've always, one was in a balcony, the rest were in the cheapest inside cabins. And they have an area on board that's like the luxury area, ship within a ship. And I got to go through those doors. So this one was a press trip. I don't think that's a surprise. If I am on a press trip, by the way, you'll see paid promotion up here. You'll see ad on every single social post. I want it to be as clear as possible. I took 3 press trips last year. I paid for 8 cruises. And that's how I got into Yacht Club. And it was fabulous. It's going to be really strange when I go back on an MSC cruise again and I can't get through those doors. What I liked was that they have their own restaurant, they have their own bar, they have their own top deck bit, and you can just look down on everyone else on the regular top deck, go out, see what they're up to, then come back, and people are like, how did you go through the door? Well, I'm in Yacht Club. Yeah. Yeah, and they deliver cookies to you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I had a butler on that cruise. So that was an interesting thing for me. I've never known what you would get a butler to do. Yeah, but they can do all kinds of things, for sure. Yeah, Emma says, it is our responsibility to advise you what is required. Yes. Well, thank you, Emma. You always do it. You always let me know, even though I don't know if you trust me by now, but you always let me know anyway. And I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Today's Britishism is plaster. Yeah, American Band-Aid. Yep. Well done. I feel like I'm teaching everyone stuff. But yeah, plaster, sticky little thing for your arm or something if you get injured. Yeah. How much of your time on board is spent working? Do you consider the cruises just a job or a holiday? And if not a holiday, what do you do on your holidays? It depends for me who I'm going with. You know, I took a cruise this year with my nieces, and I made a real effort to only work probably a couple of hours a day because I wanted to be out and about, but I am filming the entire time that I'm out and about. I make an effort not to film them, of course, or try and interrupt them, but I am filming the whole time, and obviously I'm still thinking about it. But the thing is I started this because I would come back from a cruise and try and tell my friends about it, and they wouldn't care. So I want to tell people about it. I always have. But if I'm doing a more, more worky cruise, there's a scale. A more worky cruise, I'll work sort of much as I would at home and just do it from a ship. And then if I'm with my family, I'll try not to work so much. But I haven't taken any other holidays since the beginning of this, really, since the pandemic anyway. But I don't know that I want to right now. At some point, I will just go to a cabin in the woods, like I'm sure, and stay there. But I have no plans to do that right now. Was the food limited on Harvilla? Was it enough for a regular adult? It was not limited. It was a really interesting menu because you would order small dishes of stuff. So at dinner, you'd order like 4 or 5 different dishes, and they'd all just come. You can order as many as you want. There's no limits on there, for sure. Yeah, speaking of Ventura, I have my first cruise on that ship in 3 months. Very nice. Have a good time. Yeah, I enjoyed the Yorkshire puddings on Ventura. Very good Yorkshire puddings. All right. So after that, after going, we're talking about how I do extremes here, but after being in Yacht Club with a butler, very, very fancy, I then booked a 3-night cruise on Queen Anne, and I went back in the inside cabin, back in the inside cabin. And it was lovely. It was a really, really nice ship. A very different ship for Cunard. I see why, if you're really a diehard Cunard fan who's been cruising with Cunard for decades, the changes might be a bit much. But I think it needs to change in that way. And it was a lot more modern than the other Cunard ships. I took that one with my with my brother, and he enjoyed that too. We like things like, you get room service is free. Like, it's not free on most cruise lines. Little luxury touches like that. Yeah, saw your latest video on Queen Mary 2. That was bad weather. I felt seasick just watching it. Yeah, so I've released my cabin tour. It's just a cabin tour. But even still, yeah, looking at it, I'm like, oh. It's quite funny. My mum says food not included on Harvilla though. You paid extra. So it's you either, when you book the cruise, you book a 4-day cruise, you either tick food or you tick no food. I think most people who do a cruise, which is 4 days, 12 days, 8 days, they have the food, but you don't have to. If you're going on there for 2 days and you're from Norway, you'll just bring snacks because it doesn't have to be included. It was included in the price that I paid though, for sure. Yeah, Cunard. Thoughts on Cunard? It's an interesting one. I don't think it's a cruise line that suits me. If I wasn't running this business, it's not one I would choose because I can't be bothered to get dressed. The dress codes are ship-wide after 6 p.m. Sometimes I just want to go to the theatre wearing some cargo trousers. That came out in my head as cargo pants. What is going on with the Americanisms in my brain? Oh my gosh. Cargo trousers. And I don't always want to get changed. And I don't want a ballroom dance, really. I love the afternoon tea. But, on paper, it's not particularly a cruise line that is for me. I don't think Cunard would argue with that. But they're very, very good at it. What they do, they're very, very good at. There's no other cruise line like it either. Yeah, for sure. No, it was absolutely not a step down. But to go back into the inside cabin, 3 days, really nice cabin. One of my favorite cabins. And a video that's done quite well on my channel. So you've probably seen that one by now. I haven't made the full video from Queen Anne yet, just because I went off to Africa and Japan, and I've been very, very busy. But that is coming soon. That is coming soon. And it's interesting because I cruised on Queen Mary 2 very recently. So now I have both old Cunard and new Cunard in my head. Yeah. So I went off to Japan. Like, for me, the cruising highlight of my year, it has got to be the trip I took to Japan. I was on board Norwegian Spirit. Again, a press trip. That's why I had a bath. hopefully that's no surprise, but I had a bath on a cruise ship. I did a live stream from my bath. It was incredible. But that ship is the first ship that I ever sailed on. When I was 11 years old, I took a cruise on Norwegian Spirit. That started everything. So for me to go back to that ship, dream come true. They'd spent $150 million on it, on refurbishing it. So I got to see all of the before and afters. And, I used to play here when I was a kid, and now I'm an adult, I can do this. And Japan is my favorite place in the world to travel to. So it's like every perfect thing for me together. That was it. It was absolutely fantastic. If there's a parallel world, I'm sure, where Emma still works in data development in an office 9 to 5 doing coding like I used to, and saves up once a year to go away for a week or two. And if that version of me is picking Japan every single time. Yeah, wonder when NCL will add window coverings to the shower. Yeah, I was nervous, I think. I just was not sure that people couldn't see me when I was in the shower. Yes. White chocolate cookies or milk chocolate cookies? Milk chocolate for sure. Yeah. Oh, doing my NCL Spirit Cruise in September. I'm so jealous. I could do that one over and over again. Oh, it's just amazing. Fantastic. Fabulous. And then after doing that, actually, let me show you the map for that one first, because that is a pretty cool one. Look at this. So we ended in Korea, South Korea. But look at that. That's so cool, isn't it? Really, really cool. And then coming back from Japan, I was at home for, I don't know, not very long. And I went to Sierra Leone. So So that one, I just put in the post. Yeah, I was going to write how much I paid for it, but it's not the cruise you can buy. Like, money cannot buy this trip. So we have raised, with these toys, these toy cats, we have raised over £100,000 for Mercy Ships. It's going to be more like 130,000 soon once I've counted everything for the new version. And I got to go and see where that money was being spent. So I spent 6 nights on board in Sierra Leone. The downside of that was how hard it is to get to Sierra Leone. But hey. Oh, I love the show and tell with the maps. Very cool way of talking about cruises. It is, for sure. And it helps me. I'm not great at memory or geography or speaking, it seems. So it really helps me to remember the order of things, particularly. Yeah, if your dream is to go to Japan, it should be. It is the best place. The best place. Amazing to see how your Norwegian ship looked so new. 150 million well spent. Yeah, 150 million well spent. Well, the thing is the things that you interact with on a cruise are the sofas, are the cushions, are the bedding. You know, it's not whatever is underneath the floor. Like, how old is the steel? As long as it sails fine, it's not rocking and rolling, has, you know, stabilizers, then it is all good. It is all good for me. What do you do with your cruise cards from your previous cruises? So I have it's a credit card holder, I think, just like a little binder, and I have all of mine in there. It's not the best idea because I have some of the ocean medallions, the princess ones. I have the Virgin Voyages Sea Band, and they're really thick, so it doesn't close, but that's where I have all of mine at the minute, for sure. Are Mercy ships former cruise ships, or were they designed specifically for this purpose? So they have 2 ships. The one I was on is called Global Mercy, and she was built as a hospital ship. So it was built on purpose as a hospital ship. If you look at the design, if you look at some of the ferries that have car decks on the bottom, it's kind of like that, but instead of having car decks, it has hospitals, which I know is really hard to get your head around. I recorded this week the video all about my trip, and it was a really hard one to do because there's just so many different things, and it's so hard to make a video that goes from, you know, this is the dining hall and the laundry, and here is a kid who, you know, like, really, really tricky. But I hope you like it. I hope you like it. How long will you keep us waiting for the full Queen Mary 2 video? So I think it's going to come out after the Mercy Ships video. That's going to come out next. And then this one will be next up. So maybe a month's time, maybe a bit less than that. I have already started writing it. My plan was on board Queen Mary 2 to get a lot of work done. But it was, I couldn't engage my brain. I don't know. I was just, yeah, we had really rough weather. I do get seasick. I felt fine. I felt much worse, but I did not feel. I have to be in the right zone to write these scripts. And yeah, it's not done. It's not done yet, but it is going to be a really good story. I'm not sure how I can show in a thumbnail, particularly how I can show how rough it was, but we will see. We will see. Yeah, I mean, Mum, you can probably see it a bit earlier. I do let my parents and the Patreons and channel members, some of you guys have early access, so I also let Mum and Dad have that. Please help Emma by hitting the thumbs up button. Yes, this is my dad. My dad there on the Merlin cruise, I think, the cycling cruise that we did. And Dad was the one who came to Venice with me. Very, very kindly came to Venice for that hot, hot cruise. But yeah, if you can hit the like button, if you're just watching any video ever and you can hit the like button and just comment a random word like spaghetti, then it will help me. So please do that. Please, please. Oh, Lou says, we love the early access. Sign up for Patreon. Thank you very much. Yes, I did put at the end of this, you know, how much I spent on these cruises in a year, and it was £6,700. And so I have an article at the end that says where did I afford that? How did I afford that? And it goes through, you know, how I run my business, and Patreon is a massive part of that. So it's like being a TV crew, but like it's just me, and I don't have it's loads of people that fund it. Does that make sense? I hope so. How was the food on Mercy ships? It was surprisingly good because I had no idea what we would be eating on the west coast of Africa. It's one of the poorest countries in the world. But it was really good. Like, the food was comparable quality to any cruise ship that I've been on. Less choice, of course. But the difference is, you know, there's kitchens there if you want to cook your own food because everyone lives there. They're all volunteers. They're all living on board. So if you don't like what's for dinner, you just go to the market, buy some food and cook your own dinner. So yeah, very, very different. Are you planning any last minute cruises? Yes, I have booked a last minute cruise, and I'll let you know more when I can. I wish I could tell you in advance, but I'm afraid I just can't anymore. But yeah, you will see me somewhere soon, and I hopefully won't be as cold. That's my aim. When can we expect the Cruise Globe's release? Can't wait. So, for those of you who are on the wait list, we have our 10,000 people on the list. We're going to be sending out the invites in batches just because we have 10,000 people on the list. So, by the end of this month, you should have access if you're on the wait list. If you're not on the wait list, you're going to have to wait longer and watch everyone else go on it. So, please put in your email address. It's free to use. You might as well. And yeah. Thank you so much, moderators who look after this chat. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Before you started this channel, did you write and journal your cruises? I used to when I was a kid. I had like a little diary, and I used to stick things in it. From my first cruise, I did. I didn't really when I was a teenager. I mean, I would have been writing about it on Bebo or Pixo, maybe. But not in the same kind of way for sure. But then I started this, 2016, I started my website. So it's hard to remember before that. It feels like my whole life. Spaghetti and potatoes will be my future comments. Thank you very much. That will confuse everyone else, and I quite like that. Spaghetti. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Spaghetti indeed. Oh, tagliatelle. Nice. Spaghetti. Heinz spaghetti or beans? Definitely spaghetti over beans. Spaghetti. Nice. That doesn't seem like a word anymore. It doesn't seem like a word. Is it a general aversion to coconuts or coconut biscuits? Coconut. I don't like coconut at all. This is a comment from someone who I can tell has watched my latest YouTube video, because I was talking about how on Queen Mary 2 you get biscuits with the kettle every day, and they kept giving me coconut biscuits. And I said that is worse than giving me just no biscuits at all. And it is worse, because I would be sat in bed, like typing away on my laptop, and I'd think, bedtime snack. Let's go get some biscuits. I know there's biscuits, so I have that hope, and I know that there's biscuits, and then there's coconut, and it lets me down. Yeah, no, don't like bounties. Don't like coconut at all. No. No. Oh my gosh. Was that your last cruise, or were there any others? So I was in Africa in December, and then I was on Queen Mary 2 in January. So that is, I suppose, a full year now. Yes. Favorite biscuit? Good question. Custard creams. There we go. Easy. Custard creams, jammy Dodgers, those ones that have the faces with the smile. Oh, they're good. But custard creams. Can't go wrong with a custard cream. Did you start a YouTube as a job, business, or just for fun? Oh, just for fun. If you go back and watch my early videos, you will see there's no business brain behind there. Definitely not. I started it really just because I wanted to show stuff that was hard to show, like a sail-in, like a view from the lift, that kind of thing. And there was no plan. I would put music on there that would get copyrighted. Like, it's terrible. I did that. I started it in 2017. For those first couple of years, it was just me sitting down, talking about cruises. I don't even know why. Like, no one was watching it back then, but some people watch them now, which is quite funny. So thank you for going back there. But anyway, I just had these things in my brain and I wanted to say them. It wasn't until 2020 when we sort of came home to work from home for 2 weeks. And I don't know, I guess I sort of lost all the things that I love about my job, like my colleagues, that was what was keeping me there. And I thought, I never want to go back to this job. I don't want to do coding for the next, 40 years. So at that point, the cruise industry was closed, but I sort of started sowing the seeds, hoping people would come back. And thankfully, everybody did. So I left my full-time job in 2021, and I've worked for myself since. Yes. How many nautical miles is that in total? So I don't have my total right now because I haven't added some of my really old cruises, and I haven't added my river cruises. So my total is higher than it looks on Cruise Globe at the minute. But I can see every single one that I have here, like my Norwegian Spirit cruise, 2,437 miles. Or this one, this is the one we've been talking about, the Queen Mary 2. There you go, you see that? 3,192. Oh, look at that reflection. Oh, that's quite cool. Hello. Hello. But anyway. What advice would you give someone just starting a channel? It seems a long journey to monetization. It does. That first 1,000 subscribers that you need, nothing is as hard as that first 1,000 subscribers. It is so tricky. I think my main advice would be to respect people's time. I can't count the number of times that I go and Google a cabin review and I click on it because I want to see the cabin. That's why I clicked on it. And it is someone who is packing up at home, someone who's in the car. Speaking about myself here, because my own videos are like this from years ago, but I wish that I got past that earlier and sort of thought more about who was watching it and what they wanted when they clicked on the video. Yeah, I think so. Jamie says that's a lovely curve on that route as well. Must be a good captain. We did go down a bit further than we would have, but there was a storm. It was really interesting for me to look at the wave height and the weather, and there was just this big red thing of waves, and we just went straight at it, straight through it. Queen Mary 2 is the world's last ocean liner, and so she just goes straight through. Queen Anne went the other way like a week later. She was delayed by a day, but Queen Mary 2, she's exactly for that, and I'm so glad we were on that ship. Because even on that ship, I felt the movement a lot. And if we were on another ship, that probably would have been the end of Emma Cruises because I would not want to do it again. Yeah, my dad says we went past the Titanic. We did. And we had some lectures on board. So we learned some things about Titanic and, the film and the real Jack and all of that stuff. And that was really cool. They also have a planetarium on board Queen Mary 2. And it's basically a part of a theater with a massive dome on the ceiling, and you sit back and you see all the solar system and everything like that. Very, very cool. I will say though, you can't really recline unless it depends if the person behind you, if they have legs that are, I don't know, not even tall, but just normal length legs, you're going to have your head in someone's lap, which is a bit weird. Oh, Jamie says, just imagine if the cruise maps could show altitude too, so you could see how rough your cruise was. Oh my gosh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Oh, Jack says, love the live streams, Emma. How are the books going? They're going pretty well, thank you. We have 6 books out. We have 4 story books out, and we have 1 coloring book and 1 sort of activity book for kids. So here is some in my pile. But yeah, this is the latest one. This is the Captain Hudson Adventure in the Caribbean. So on this one, it's really interesting. I don't want to give everything away, but there's pirates and wolves and wolf pirates. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, my mum says, and the biggest ballroom at sea with a big band. And when they say big bands, they mean a big band. There's a lot of musicians on Cunard, which is cool. Everywhere. Oh, Bill says, I will be in London for a cruise, staying an extra day afterwards. What should I do for the day? If you have 1 day in London, it has got to be a hop-on, hop-off bus. You have got to get up there. I don't care if it's cold. You need a hat and a scarf, and you need to sit on the top deck, and you need to go past, Big Ben and Parliament and do all of that stuff. All of that stuff. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. There you go. That's it. Oh, I just got free shipping for the Cruise Maps album, even to Hawaii. Is that normal? Yes, it's free everywhere. Free everywhere. Is it Queen Mary 2 that allows pets? Yes, they do allow pets. You can bring dogs and cats, and they are in the kennels. It's not like you can just bring a dog that's in your cabin, although Margaritaville at Sea are doing some sort of dog cruise at some point. But yeah, if you are going to be moving and you have the option to either put them in there or on a plane, I think great, do it. It's not something I don't think it's fun. Like, I felt quite unwell, and I can't imagine a dog being in a kennel, like especially my dog Rolo. He gets so sick like in the car and stuff. But yeah, you get to see them like 3 or 4 times a day. I think we saw one dog being walked on the top deck, and it was so windy it did a poo and it rolled away. That was quite funny. Yeah. Yeah, go and just see all of the things that you think of when you think of London, for sure. And the bus is the best way to do that, I think. Was your Queen Mary 2 cruise rougher than your Fred Olsen Cruise Line cruise? No, I think the roughest cruise is still the Fred Olsen cruise that I took into the Arctic Circle in winter. Serves me right. But it was more just that it was constant. We had 8 days on this cruise. We had 1 day that was classed as rough because every other day was above rough. So it just never ended. The poo or the dog? The poo rolled away. The dog was fine. Yeah. Wouldn't you need special clearance for pets entering different countries? Yeah, you have to have whatever they need, their passports and their vaccines and all that kind of stuff. It just goes from the UK to the US, so they know by now. Fell asleep in the planetarium, says Emma. Totally get it. Yeah, me too. Because I was taking seasickness medicine quite a lot, and that does make me sleepy. So yeah, that was my excuse. Just curious, if you are recognized on a cruise, will you do a selfie with them? Absolutely. I've never said no to a picture, even if it's like late night and I'm in the buffet or early morning or on the promenade deck or in the wind or the rain or a random port. I've never ever said no to anybody ever. Like, yeah, I never normally see them again, so I don't know where they're going, but sometimes people will take a picture and send it to, their mum has said to find Emma, and then I feel like I'm like, I don't know, I'm the piece of treasure. But yes, I've never ever said no. So if anyone ever sees me, ever wants a picture with me, just ask me. I will always do it. Always do it for sure. It is nearly the end of this live stream. These hours go so super fast. So please, if you have any quick fire questions and you could let me know, please put them in the comments. If you can start them with question, that would be really good. And I think, let me just check my calendar. It's always a bit dangerous going out of the app when I'm live streaming. Where even is my calendar? Here it is. I will be here at the same time next week, so that's good. 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Yes. Jamie says pizza tonight. I'm actually going out for dinner, so I don't know if I will continue my pizza thing, my pizza Friday, or not. I might do. I don't know. I'm still quite sad because Iceland, which is where I got my favorite ever pizza from, it has not brought it back for about 6 months, and I fear it has gone forever. And I'm really sad. So if anyone works for Iceland and could just bring my favorite pizza back, I would appreciate it so much. I really miss it. Anyway, yes, loads of lovely comments in here saying thank you for the stream. Thank you very much for coming. It always surprises me. I don't know. You would think I would maybe expect a certain number of people here that have been here every week for about 4 years, but I still come in and I'm always surprised. So I appreciate you coming. Oh, Kerry says, loved hearing about your 2024 cruises. Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice for me to sort of have a look and see how many different cruises I've done. I think I've had a lot of variety this year and hopefully the same next year. I'm trying not to plan so far in advance because I want to be able to take up things like when I was invited to Sierra Leone, it wasn't very far before. So I want to sort of leave some space, but I get so excited. Of course I do. And I want to just book things. But yeah, who knows where the next year will take us. I'm not sure. Oh, BT says, love the latest video. Thank you very much. If you've not already seen that, please check it out. It's an interesting one. And that cabin type, it costs £25 per person for a week, more than a normal cabin. So let me know if you think it's worth £25. I'm not sure. I don't think I would pay, well, £25 is not very much. But even still, I didn't really, other than Captain Hudson looking out, I don't feel like I got £25 worth of value. But hey, it was good. And it doesn't always cost extra. Oh, thank you. Cruise Globe is amazing. Everyone should join the list. Yes, please, if you can. That would be amazing. Just thecruiseglobe.com. Totally free to use. So what do you have to lose? I'm off to find 3D mode. Yes. Yeah, £25 feels like nothing. A no-brainer for the novelty. Yeah, for me, it's an interesting thing. People ask me about every kind of quirky cabin. I've stayed in inside cabins so many times. Anything that's different is just good fun for me. Yeah, Roger says maybe if the window was lower down. Yeah, maybe I had to sort of go on my tiptoes to try and see down. Maybe also if I had a lower one. But I need to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze. Maybe if I had a lower down one. Can I keep my sneeze away for 1 minute? I don't know. But maybe if I had a lower down cabin, I could have seen more because I was right at the top. Buffy says, hoping to get my boyfriend on his first cruise with me soon. It's taken a bit of convincing. You should just do what I did. I don't think I ever asked Jono if he wanted to go on a cruise. I just said, are you free in July? All right, we're going on a cruise. That was it. Bernard says, thanks to your dad for taking the video of you waving from your room. Yes, thank you very much, Dad. We had quite a lot of time on that cruise, as you can imagine. So I thought one of the things I want to do, I was hoping to find someone else in one of the cabins opposite to wave at, but no one was ever there. So Yeah. Yeah, my dad says just book it. There you go. You see where I get it from, right? See where I get it from? Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this live stream. This has been very much fun. I hope you have a lovely, lovely week, and I will see you next week. Look at the light to go ahead and get the sneeze out of the way. Well, the light's always there and it's really bright, so I think it's gone. I think it worked. All right. I'll see you all next week. Bye.